Welcome to Biology Week 3. I pre-recorded. I'll pre-record this one and the next PowerPoint as well, because I know that some of you guys are probably working on your tests right now. So let's go. We are going to be talking about basically the 4 different types of tissue. We're going to talk about epithelial tissue, we're going to talk about connective tissue, we're also going to talk about nervous tissue and muscle. We're going to talk about a little bit of repairing after, and some mucous and serous membranes. So, let's go. The 4 different types of tissue: epithelial, connective, nervous, and muscle. And these ones here we'll talk about in our, you guys are going to know nervous inside and out because of your assignment. Muscle there we'll talk next week when we do muscle and bone. But today we're mainly going to talk about epithelial and connective tissue. Okay. Epithelial is found, basically here we're talking about the skin. All right. This is what we're talking about. Lines all of the skin covering that covers there the body, and we've also got some there in the mouth, respiratory tract, okay, and also the reproductive tract as well. Epithelial tissue protects, absorbs, filters, secretes, and is involved in transportation. For example, epithelial tissue in the intestine absorbs water and nutrients. Okay, so does all these things here. And you'll see here that there are different shapes and sizes of epithelial tissue. Forms these continuous sheets. And yeah, let's just call them floor tiles. Okay, where the outer surface, there is nothing here. Like if you think there that if we have a tube, okay, a tube, and the inside of the tube, it's just a hole. It's just a hole, right? But there is a surface on the inside of the tube, right? So these are one of the things there that we want to talk about. The undersurface is attached to what we call a basement membrane. So underneath, it is attached, and that's how these things get their oxygen, their food supply, blood supply, and all that. But nothing is coming in from the top, and we'll show you guys all these here. Epithelial tissue is widespread throughout the body. It covers organs, lines body cavities, hollow organs, and even makes up glands. Epithelial tissue always has a free surface. Okay? Always has a free surface. And a side there that is open to some space. Alright? And we'll show you more of these as we get on. Epithelial tissue are anchored to a basement membrane, as we said earlier. And they're made up of tightly packed cells containing a little intracellular material, nourished by cells underneath. But we'll get more into these here. So, what do we got? They function in protection, secretion, absorption, and excretion as well. Classification is by cell shape and the number of cell layers. There are different shapes, which I'll show you right now. There is squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. And then if the cells are only in a layer of 1, we call them simple. But if there's 2 or more, we call them stratified. And we'll show you these right here. We'll get into, let's have a look. So, you'll see squamous cells, they're kind of squashed, right? That's what they are. That's what they look like. And see, we call this one here, this is all simple. And these guys here are all stratified. So, we have simple squamous epithelium cells. And here we have stratified squamous epithelium. You see, these are squamous cells. They're kind of shaped like this. All right, simple means there's one row. Stratified means there's more than one. Cuboidal or cube shape. Okay, and here we have simple cuboidal, and here we have stratified cuboidal. All right, and then we have columnar. These are columns. All right, and you'll see here these little microvilli. You'll see those again there when we do digestion. All right, and so here are my simple columnar, here are my stratified columnar, and you're also going to get, only with columnar cells, you get what's called pseudo-stratified, where they're all attached to the basement membrane. So you see here that these guys here are open to some type of a canal. So this is open space. Maybe food is traveling down here, you know, whatever, a turkey sandwich is traveling down here, and these cells here are absorbing the nutrients. And you'll see here that here we have simple columnar, where they're kind of straight and they look like good columns. Here we have stratified columnar, where these guys here are not touching the basement membrane. But you'll see here pseudo-stratified columnar, they're all touching the basement membrane at some point. Okay, they're all different shapes and sizes, but they're all here, okay? So, getting into, there's all different shapes, makes, and models here as far as epithelial tissue goes. You have a look here. Here we've got the mouth and the skin. These are called stratified squamous. You could tell, man, they're kind of irregular shaped, and they're kind of all jumbled on top of each other. You have a look at the respiratory. Okay? And you're looking at these, completely pseudo-stratified. You see how they're all touching the basement membrane, and they all generally make it up here. Okay? Digestive tract, simple columnar. Okay? The alveoli there are the lungs. Okay, simple squamous. In the bladder. Okay. So you just have a look at these here. Transitional, I'm not really too interested in. If you guys can know these guys here, where to track them, where to find them, now you're cooking with gas. So now we'll just go into these quickly. Simple epithelium, single layer. There's simple cuboidal, simple columnar. You've got pseudo-stratified columnar. Okay. Stratified epithelium. Here we have multi-layered transitional. Okay. So, glandular epithelia. Function is secretion. So you have a look here, and you have these glands. So you have you see these right here, and they are down below. They're in the lower, in the fat area. All right. These are what we call these exocrine glands. And you see their function, they're secreting stuff out. So the exocrine glands, they have ducts that carry the exocrine secretion outside the body. See these ducts here? They move all the way out and they take it outside. These excretions include mucus, sweat, saliva, even digestive enzymes. Okay? Endocrine glands are ductless glands, and they secrete hormones such as insulin directly into the blood. Okay? So exocrine glands here, they have these ducts that secrete, but endocrine glands, they are ductless. We'll talk about that more when we get into endocrine system. Location and function of the connective tissue there. The connective tissue is, would you believe that connective tissue, bone, these kinds of things, even blood, is a form of connective tissue? Okay, so functions here: connection, support, protection, fat storage, transportation, Which type of connective tissue is most common? Of the 4 types of tissue, connective tissue is the most abundant in the body. Okay, so again, epithelial, nervous, muscle, connective. Connective is the most abundant, okay, because it's blood and bone and in and around many organs there. Okay, so there's lots going on here. Just an idea of the extracellular matrix that's going on here. Okay, you've got a lot of fibrinogen, you've got a lot of protein, okay, and let's have a look. The intracellular matrix there, connective tissue, varies from liquid to hard. Most is very well vascularized. Like you think that bone is, it's a hard substance, right? It's like a table. It's not alive, but bone is alive. You will see blood vessels. You'll see them all in there, and the bone is alive and moving and needs everything just like everything else. Okay, the tendons, ligaments, cartilage are not vascularized. Okay, so we got lots of protein. Here we are, collagen, elastin, reticular fibers. Okay, all these kinds of things. We've got some pictures here. So fibroblast type of connective tissue. Okay, and it can be loose, dense fibrous, cartilage, bone, and blood and lymph. So there's lots going on here as far as types of connective tissue. Okay, and you guys can have a read down here. Areolar tissue is soft and surrounds, protects, cushions many of the organs, almost like a tissue glue. Adipose tissue is fat tissue. Okay, protects and cushions. So right here, and it does. Adipose tissue is fat composed mainly of adipocytes, cells, and store fat. And between all of our organs, there's fat there. It's all about cushioning. Okay, what are some of the functions of fat? And there's a whole bunch that are labeled here. Why are tendons, ligaments, capsules, and fascia composed of dense fibrous tissue and not areolar tissue? Well, tendons, ligaments, these kinds of things, they've got to be able to handle the brunt of moving. Like I was just biking, I biked down to the beach there a week ago, and I've stretched one of my ligaments in my knee. And now, these ligaments there, like you sprain your ankle. Your ankle's not supposed to move that way. And that's why those ligaments, they are tight as a drum. And when you stretch one of them, you hold it, and now you just got to take it easy. So, very good. Have a read of these. There's lots in there. I really like these this little bit of information down in the slides. Have a look at them. There you go. Why is calcium important? There's lots in there. So have a look at that stuff there. Major cell types of connective tissue can be either fixed or wandering. Fixed connective tissue stays in tissue there for a long time. Wandering can move all around. Okay. And you'll have a look here. We've got dense fibrous connective tissue. There's your bone. Okay. The bones are cool. There's your cartilage. That's your nose and your ear. Very squishy. Okay. There's your adipose tissue. There's your fat. There's your bone marrow right here. So have a look at these. Macrophage engulfing a bacteria there. You'll see there. Chomp, chomp. This is called a mast cell. Okay, these guys here are involved in your, what's the word I'm looking for? Allergies. And yeah, we'll get more into those. Loose connective tissue, areolar tissue, extracellular matrix, collagen fibers. You see them there? It's this matrix of all these fibers that are kind of woven together. And you'll see there elastin fibers, and there are your fibroblasts all in here. Okay. Here's your adipose tissue, your fat tissue, and you'll see there blood vessels are all in there, okay? And there you go. Good. Fibrocartilage, okay, there you'll see there that these fibers there, they crisscross and very, but there's movement allowable, which is what you want. You want a little bit of movement in there, but not a lot. More for a protection environment. Bones, we'll get more into bones there when we do them there next week, but the bones support and protect. They form sites there for muscle attachment. And you'll see there that there's blood and lymph all through here. And you'll have a look. And you can see here your osteocytes. You see the blood vessel in here. There's nerve in there too. These concentric circles there, we call them lamellae. And it's almost like tree rings where they grow out. They grow out from a central area and they grow out. So two types of bone tissue. There's compact and spongy. You'll see on the outside of the bone is what we call compact. You can see it down here. Okay. But then on the inside of the bone there, we get what's called spongy bone. And that's more involved there with the marrow. But y'all can have a look at this there. Blood is another form of connective tissue. Blood functions there to transport substances throughout the body. Nutrients, gas, waste, all these kinds of things. And it's composed of plasma as well. And RBCs, blood is a number of different things, but we'll get into more detail when we need to there, okay? So most blood cells are produced by the red bone marrow in the long bones. So your leg bones, big blood producers. And here's some more shots of your RBCs. Red blood cells there, they don't have a nucleus or anything. Their job is not to be reproducing. So after about 3 months it's about 3 months there, they get recycled and they get the chomp chomp. Just a little summary here of connective tissue. Y'all can have a look at this there, have a read. Nervous tissue. These guys here are very easy to identify because you have your cell body up here, there, nucleus inside, but you have your axon. And see, the message comes from here. And if you think of nervous tissue as railroad tracks, there's another nerve, looks exactly the same up top here, okay, and comes down. The message comes down and gets transferred to here and comes down here, and then you'll see that it transmits the message there to another nerve cell, okay? So you have our axon, we have our dendrites up here. We all can have a look at those there, okay? Muscle tissue, there's 3 kinds of muscle tissue. Skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Okay, we'll get more into these there next week for sure. But you can see there that there is skeletal muscle, which we have control over. Like I'm moving my arm right now because I have control over it. But I eat a banana, and as soon as I swallow it and it starts to go down my throat, I've now lost control of that. And I don't control my muscle. I don't control my stomach or my intestines or all this. So smooth muscle is a kind of muscle there that we do not control. The difference between skeletal and smooth: skeletal I have control, smooth I do not. Skeletal is very strong, smooth is not strong at all. Skeletal is very short-lived, gets tired very fast. Smooth muscle does not. And you'll see there that cardiac, your heart muscle, is a combination of the both. It's very strong and it lasts forever. Let's hope. Tissue repair, regeneration, replacement of tissue via mitosis. Fibrosis, replacement of injured tissue with fibrous connective tissue. We'll get scar tissue. Keloid scarring, excessive fibrosis. Okay. Steps in tissue repair. You guys can have a look at this there. You'll see there that we have a cut what happens there. It fills with blood and serum, and then the tissue repair starts to begin. We get a bit of a scar. Okay, epithelial cells start to multiply and regenerate, and there we go. There's our finished piece. Have a look at that one there. Membranes, thin sheets of tissue that cover surfaces, line body organs and cavities. Okay, we've got epithelial. Okay, we've got cutaneous, mucus, and serous, which we'll get more into. And we've got connective tissue, connective membranes, synovial, periosteum, perichondrium, meninges, and fascia. And you'll see here epithelial membranes. Hold on here.